This guitar came in from Josh Turner, not the Josh Turner that sings country music, but a different Josh Turner. This one plays really cool guitar, makes cool YouTube videos, and taught all of us how to have incredible Nick Drake style guitar tone a couple years ago. Probably my favorite video of his. Now, Josh Turner has collaborated with D'Angelico. D'Angelico reached out to me wanting to talk about this guitar, wanting to get my impressions. Now, in this video, I'm gonna do a couple things. What is this guitar? Is this guitar good? What is bad about this guitar? And hey, if you were me, would you buy this guitar? So I'm Jeremy, this is Guitar Hunter, this is a 3-question gear review. When guitar companies take on the endeavor of making a guitar for everybody that is made at a better price point, a lower price point, there are certain compromises that always happen, and I don't quite understand them. But generally speaking, and in my experience, guitars that are made to a price point lack bass and low end and articulation. They get kind of muddy and they don't have much bass, and when you strum them, they just thin out a lot. Now, this guitar, let's talk about this guitar from top to bottom. An OM body shape, Sitka spruce on the top, African mahogany on the back and sides, mahogany neck with a scarf joint, bada bing, bada boom, right there are 2 scarf joints, which is actually a better, and it's a more rugged way of building a guitar, but it also is one of the ways you can usually kind of spot an import guitar. Big throwback headstock with the bronzed truss rod cover. It also has bronzed Grovers on the back. Very cool, good, reliable tuners. It still baffles to me that the pendulum always swings back and forth. When Grovers are the standard and people love them, people are like, they're so cool, they add mass, they add sustain, and then years later people are like, ugh, you gotta swap those out and you get to open gear tuners. I like the big Grover tuners. These are really great, reliable tuners. There's a beautiful volute on the back of the headstock. It's a good reference point when you're playing the guitar to just find position 1. This guitar is, from top to bottom, it is definitely a fingerstyle guitar. It is definitely made to be played. There's a Carroll Shelby quote that I think is incredibly helpful, and it reminds me of this guitar, which is simplify and add lightness. This guitar is simplified. Doesn't have a pick guard. It's a very straightforward, simple guitar. It also doesn't have a gloss finish because they wanted to lighten it up. I think the thing that robs the tone of affordable acoustic guitars is these big, pretty, shiny, deep, glossy finishes, these polyurethane finishes. To me, that's what robs the richness, the articulation, the brightness of those, and it just leaves you with a kind of shrill, thin-sounding acoustic guitar that looks beautiful and would stand nuclear war. But this guitar, you can tell that his revisions of a kind of standard model from D'Angelico have wanted to make a more dynamic and articulate acoustic guitar because he is a dynamic and articulate guitar player. What is good about this guitar? It is light, it is clear, it is articulate, it is nimble, it sounds incredibly gentle. This guitar, it properly resonates like a handmade expensive guitar. I've played this guitar a little bit over the last couple days, and I've been really surprised at how long the notes ring out. That is a remarkable thing, and I think that comes from not doing a thick, gratuitous, pretty finish, but doing a thoughtful kind of satin finish that you can actually see and experience the grain of this wood. Like, do you know that guitars are made of living things? That wood is an organic material, and so when you cover it in plastic, it doesn't do a whole lot for keeping just the organic nature of this thing. So I think that's where it adds so much. The other thing that makes this guitar good, there's 2 more things that come to mind. It's a 25-inch scale length, which is not as long as an OM. Normally that's 25.5. It's not as short of a scale length as a triple O, 24.9, right? And so this guitar kind of lives in a place where there's a little more tension, but it still feels slack and comfortable, and it feels a little jangly where you could kind of dig into. It also, with the little bit of a longer scale length, it still is able to articulate some of those finer So, beautiful guitar, really articulates well. The third thing, and I think that this is the absolute chef's kiss, this guitar has a that is a grown-up pickup. That's a real pickup. That is a guitar player's pickup. It is the pickup that sounds warm and full and bassy and articulate, and it is such a good choice. I don't know why more brands don't do it. I think I have an idea. With better pickups requires a little more gear and a little more techie setup. This guitar is not without fault, though. There are things that I don't like about this guitar. There are still corners that must get cut to keep guitars at a lower price. Comes with a gig bag. I wish it would come with a hard case. It just doesn't. The other thing is I wish it had a pickguard, and a lot of people have guitars without pickguards because they make them louder, but I think the guitar just aesthetically is a little too simple. I mean, the diamond inlays are very cool and thoughtful, and they're definitely different. This thing's pulling some cool old jazz kind of vibes, and it needs a pickguard. I think it needs a pickguard. The other thing that I hate to say it, but it bothers me. The rosette on this guitar it looks so cheap. To me, it really reminds me of like the total bottom of the barrel Martin X series, just the total like, it looks like you spent money is what that tells me. But it's like, anyway, I wish that this was anything other than just the big mother of pearl rosette. I wish it was something that was just a little more, there's so much like old cool jazz stuff on this. I wish that they would have just stuck the landing a little bit better. If you are in the market, is this a guitar that I would recommend? Now, this guitar is at a wonderful price point. It's under $1,000. I will have all of the links and the details in the description down below. This guitar, I can tell that this thing has thoughtfully been worked through and has really painstakingly, they have figured out how to keep all the plates spinning, keep it affordable while making it cool. They were able to simplify and add some lightness. I think that they've stuck the landing a good bit. I think that this is a cool guitar. It is interesting. One of the questions that I have in my mind is, Josh Turner, yeah, he's a musician. He's probably known more as a YouTuber. And so one of the big things is, do YouTubers have enough draw? Rick Beato, he's a giant YouTube channel, but Rick Beato is now at a place where he's able to have a custom Martin, and they sold out the first line, and they made some red ones. I think so. This guitar, if you were in the market for this, I think that this is better. There are compromises. There will always be compromises in everything you buy, but especially you get so much more compromise when you get under $1,500, under $2,000, which I understand is an incredible amount of money. Most people are never going to buy a $2,000 guitar. But on this, the compromises that you have on this guitar, you have clear the finish issues. Now, if this was a handmade guitar, it would be a French polish finish or a nitrocellulose lacquer. Like, there are ways to do thin finishes that are beautiful and also continue to kind of preserve the articulation and the nuance that this guitar is able to represent. So there is some compromise. Overall, I think that lots of people should buy these guitars. I'm not going to get paid for any of this. They're paying for this video. I get this guitar and they're paying me a little bit of money. But I think they're paying for my time. They're not paying for my opinion. Let's talk about that. As has been made clear, I said plenty of things that are just my actual opinion on this guitar. I think that this is a better guitar than most guitars under $1,000. I think that it is cool that you can see Cortec that makes pretty good guitars, but they put really thick finishes. If you can talk them down off the ledge of making such a thick finish, you get a whole lot more guitar and a lot more tone out of a guitar. So overall, I think that I would recommend this guitar to a lot of people. I think that it is beautiful and thoughtful. This is particularly well aimed for strummy fingerstyle guitar players, folky guitar players. If you're trying to play anything in that like really warm folky thing, I would put nickel bronze strings on this. I would let them die beautifully and then just have a thumpy, articulate, beautiful guitar. This guitar is probably, who is this not for? This guitar is not for hard right hand. It's still just a little jangly for that. I would probably stick to a proper OM scale length. Yeah, tried to fix that one before I tried to edit on the fly. I think the longer scale length and a little heavier gauge string. If you're a heavy strummer, I think find a dread, find a long scale length. Those are the two big things. This guitar overall, I'm happy. I'm very thankful that they sent it to me. Thanks for watching this video. I'm Jeremy. I am the Guitar Hunter. And if you want to crack at owning this guitar, I'm going to make it available first to my patrons and channel members. So you can join down below. There's a button on this video that says join. Click that for a couple bucks a month. You will get added to the list that gets first crack at these really cool guitars. And I sell them at really good prices because I just want to take care of the people that take care of me. Patrons and channel members make these videos happen. So thank you for your support. Thank you for your kindness to me. Go fill the world with music and friendship. You got a lot of work to do. There's a lot of music to make and a lot of friends to make. So thanks. See you later.